everybody's getting into AI very rapidly, as you're seeing it more and more in real estate. And what I'm seeing with a lot of the gurus is they're pushing out product that is, hey, have your AI do your calls for you, set your appointments for you, shoot, even close deals for you. Now, that's exactly why they're failing, to be honest. The only people making money are the gurus that are pushing this stuff. You don't get me wrong, it's exciting for me because the lazier people are, the more profitable I am, right? So it's easier for me to make money because I don't use AI to replace me. Instead, I'm using AI to enhance me, right? To make me more efficient, more productive, to help me and my team not waste time doing the mundane tasks that you're going to see right now. I used to spend on some of the tasks that I'm going to show you. I used to spend like at first days going through it because I was learning Excel. I was learning all this. I had to figure out the formulas and how to do this, how to combine that. And when that's just not in your nature, like it is for me, um, you want to squirt some lemon in your eyes. It becomes torture. It's very, very painful. So this saves you like hundreds of hours and frustration and burnout by focusing on the things that actually move the needle. So in this training, I'm actually going to show you exactly how I do it live on screen. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to walk you through it with a few lists that I'm working on. And at the end, if you stick around to the end, I'm actually going to give you access to the prompts I've created. Nothing fancy, just the things that kind of get you off the ground, get you going a little bit. So in case you are actually, yeah, James, this is actually live, brother. Any questions you have, just drop it in the chat. So yeah, so we're going to get into that training and really start crushing it. Now, why am I telling you all this? Guys, I do multiple seven figures a year now. And we're doing it sometimes with less than 20 deals a year. I run a business that's very lean, very profitable. So it's the business I wanted to create. I did not want to run a business like everybody else where it's like I close 30 deals a month or I close, 80 deals a year and all this. Like that sounds painfully agonizing to me. The size of the team you need, the systems, the infrastructure, all the marginal tight deals you're doing, like it's just so unappealing. I have so much time freedom. I have so much financial freedom and I can close one or two deals. At this point, I can close 3 deals, 4 deals a year and I'm straight. I'm fine. We do as many as we do because we have a team, we have growth, we have a lot of things we're expanding on, but I don't need to. I have students doing 5 to 6 deals a year, doing 600, 700 grand. You understand? Like it's not about the volume, it's about the precision. So this training builds on that precision. Now, I want you to look at AI in the right way, right? So instead of you wasting time scrubbing lists, if you watch my spearfishing training, if you haven't, go to my YouTube channel. But in that, I show you how we stack, that you need to stack lists. I don't show you how, but I show you what you need to be stacking. AI is going to help you with a lot of this. It's going to help you with the stacking piece. It's going to help you with the sorting piece. It's going to help you with all these things. So when you finally pick up the phone, you are dealing with a homeowner that is motivated. So instead of calling somebody to qualify them, you're calling somebody to close them, right? Because you did the list properly. So as soon as they say hello, they're in pain, right? So unless they did something to solve it, guess what? They need your help, right? It's a whole different technique. This is why a lot of my students do 2, maybe 3 hours a day in their business tops. Because when it's very dialed in and very focused, you don't need 8 hours a day, every single day, no vacations in order to make a little bit of money. All right. So the payoff on this is tremendous, and that's the pain for most wholesalers right now, right? Is that AI is something that's making you think I can do more volume. I can have it do so much more vetting for me. I can have it call all this list and only pop out the good ones. No, it's not. It's not doing any of that. And if you're needing AI to do that, you're pulling all the wrong lists. So again, I direct you back to my spearfishing video, where so you can actually pull the right list for everything that you're doing. This is what we're going to start with. I'm going to start you with how we clean a list. So let me switch over. Cool. This is a tax delinquent list for Bexar County for San Antonio. So I want you to notice this column, column H. Column H has Gonzalez Humberto C, the street number, street name, San Antonio. It's all together. I need to separate this in order to work through this data myself, because I don't market to all the zip codes. I don't market to all the properties. So I need to be able to separate this. Now, in the past, I would have created multiple columns. I would have created a bunch of different things, separated everything, then try to join certain things. And then you have zip codes like this one. That's like you have your 5-digit zip code plus the 4-digit, whatever the hell it is. But it's not for all of them. Some have them, some don't. Some have the US. So when you're working with Excel, that becomes very tedious and a pain in the butt. Not anymore. So let me show you what that looks like. I already did the work, because if we try to do this live, like the loading time is, I don't know, because I'm streaming, so sometimes it bogs down the internet. So I wanted to make sure it was ready for you guys here. So I uploaded the list. You click here. This is ChatGPT, by the way. So you click on here. You're gonna hit the plus sign. You're gonna hit add photos and files, and in here you're gonna select the file that you want to upload. Right. So I uploaded original file. This is that file I just showed you of all the tax delinquent, and I put on here. I want you to separate column H into multiple columns and separate first name, last name, street number, street name, city, state, and the first 5 digits of the zip codes. So it read all that. It did it. So now you see Gonzalez, Gonzalo Humberto, street, the street number, street name. So, and then the city, you see acres. So like it combined these, not the right way, right? So I'm like, cool. It says, do you want me to save? I'm like, nope. I need you to combine the street number with the street name into one column. And in the city, just leave the actual city, San Antonio. So I'm marketing to one city, right? So it's like, oh, got it. I see what you're saying. Boom. Perfect. Right? That alone saves you hours. Just that little bit. And that probably took me all of like 2 minutes, maybe less. So it said, cool, is that good? I'm like, no, I need you to separate the names, because depending on the skip tracing service you use, sometimes you need to have, if you're going to do a bulk skip or anything of the sort, first name, last name separated, right? So I'm like, screw it, let's do it. So it did it. I asked it, split the names into 2. But as you can see, I'm not being very specific, right? I'm showing you how sloppy I am, so you can not overthink how to do this. So then it broke down first name, last name, right? So C is the middle initial. I'm like, no, you're not getting it. So I went back, right? I went back to Gonzalo Humberto C. I copied the name. I came back in here and I said, in the first row name, Gonzalo Humberto C is backwards, which means the person's name is Humberto C. Gonzalez. This is the middle, the first name, middle name, and last name. I put the little dash in there because I've seen ChatGPT before do that. I don't know where I saw it do it. So I'm thinking that's maybe how it separate things. So that's really the whole thought process there. So it broke it down, right? It showed me, oh, I get it. And then boom, there it is. Right? So it gives me the full name in case I still want it. And then it breaks it down. And then it tells me, do you want me to keep multiple people together in one row? So, multiple people, or split them into multiple rows. So in Excel, rows go down, columns go sideways, right? And I don't want multiple rows because then you're just doubling the amount of properties or tripling, however. So I picked option A. So then it just went sideways. And it's, are you ready? Yes. Boom. And there's the file right there. So I click, I download it. And this is what the file looks like. So first name, Humberto, middle name, C, middle initial, last name, their full name, property address, city, state, and zip. Crazy shit, right? So this AI, again, guys, super simple. All right, let's not overthink this stuff. So that is how I do all the separating of the sheet. Now let's do this one. So this one is a student of mine. They're in St. Louis. They have an absentee list and the tax delinquent list. So I want to stack these. All right. So I uploaded, again, both lists. The only reason why it shows this, unable to display visualization, is because the list has over 17,000 rows. So I guess the file's too large to show you a preview like it is here, right? So that's really it, but the file's there. I want to highlight red in the absentee file any rows where column A address appears on both sheets. Okay. And so it did its whole rigmarole, right? Boom. And it gave me the file. So it actually did this. If it matches, it's going to highlight a yes. You see that? Highlight a yes. So it did all that, and it said it combined them. It did all its thing. And I put export sheet because it gave me this stuff. I'm like, I can't click on this. What the hell am I doing? So it gave me that, and then it says, oh, here you go. I'm like, dude, I still can't click any of that. So give me a link so I can click. And it gives me this crap. I'm like, okay, I can't click anywhere here to download it. All right. Again, brute force. And then it gave me the right files. All right. So let's look at what that looks like. That's over here. This is the absentee sheet itself, the one that I asked. You see all highlighted at the bottom, the tab. Look at this one. Matches only. So the red, I don't know if the red's kind of tough for you guys to see. I probably should have picked, a different color. But whatever, it works. So it combined it. 216 properties show up absentee and tax delinquent in St. Louis County. 216. Now you can start, and you can combine that as much as you want. You can go crazy with this. You can say, I also want you to take from the tax delinquent and add the tax delinquent amount. I want you to remove any properties that have LLCs, but you got to be specific, right? So let's say if it's an LLC, sometimes it shows up on just one column, right? So let's say it's the first column and it's showing up as LLCs. It's like, I want you to remove any LLCs from column F or G, and it will clean it up. I want you to remove, I want to remove trusts because we go after those as well. But any Inc., any co, right? Like co companies, anything like that out of the norm that's not a first and last name, I want you, and I did that. That was another prompt that I did. I want you to remove any that don't have a first and last name in column F or G. And that's exactly what it did, right? That's it, guys. Like, you seriously, you look at these files and you say, what don't I want in here, right? What don't I want? What data don't I want? What do I want it cleaned up? What do I want it to look like? And just tell it to do it. Now, as you see, like a lot of these, on this one, I had to go a couple times. Give me the damn link. What the hell? What do I need to ask you for you to give me what I'm looking for, right? So you gotta kind of play around with it. Get clear on the way you speak, on the way you carry the things out. And then what ends up happening is you can actually ask it, where am I? So here, after it was all done, I put, what prompt should I have given you at the beginning to get this result? Right? And it says, great question. See, I'm so good at this. It tells me I did a good job. And it gives me the prompt. So it gives me the exact prompt that if you're doing this consistently, you just copy this down. You copy it, and next time you upload a file, you upload the prompt. That's it. You go building your own little prompt list of things that you want to do. Now, last thing I wanted to show you is how we deal with objections. And, when you're negotiating or closing deals. And I want to be very clear on this. When the only reason why I use this for this stuff is for ideas, right? I am not going to take something that ChatGPT gave me and use it word for word. It needs to be my own. It needs to fit my way of speaking. It needs to connect with me because it's the only way it's going to penetrate in my head, right? So I can use it next time. If all you do is put objections in here, it spits out some results, and then you just send that off, you're never learning. So don't do that to yourself because it doesn't help you. So this is a very common one for any of you that do probates. So what you want to start with, and again, on what I'm going to share with you at the end, I'm going to show you how this breaks down. But I'm marketing to heirs of property owners who have passed away and are now going through probate process who might want to sell the property. An objection I keep getting is that they want to wait for the probate to be finalized. Any way I can overcome this and get them to see that we can still go under contract now while we wait, I want to use NLP or NEPQ techniques to get them there. So let me break this down for you. You got to give it context, right? And you can give it more context. The more context you give it, the better response it's going to give you. I've shared this with you guys in the past. So if you're new here, this is new. But like these three books are the ones I like the most. So you got Chris Voss, right? Never Split the Difference. You have Robert Cialdini, Influence, and you have Jeremy Minor, that he does the new model of selling, right? So Jeremy Minor, that's the NEPQ. NEPQ, it's NLP, is just that he coined it his own stuff. It's the same NLP stuff, but what he does is that it's directed with questions. Why that's so powerful is because if you tell people what to do, they're not going to listen. But if you ask them the right questions and allow them to get there on their own, so much more powerful. So much more powerful. So you want to make sure you're doing it that way. So when I do something like this, I ask it for the example I want to use, right? So I'll give it NLP or NEPQ. If you like Robert Cialdini's Influence, then maybe say using some of the influence techniques that Robert Cialdini talks about, or even if you were Chris Voss, how would you respond to this, right? So you can word it in however many ways depending on the person you go with. Another recommendation, don't use the Wolf of Wall Street or any other douchebag sales guys out there, right? Like your Grant Cardones and all those, because you don't want to be scammy and you're not trying to steal somebody's house. You're actually trying to help somebody out. So try to use somebody that has a little bit of integrity. So what it did here, which was interesting to me, I didn't ask it to do this, but it did it anyway, is it actually gave me how the contracts were going to be, how I can explain how the contracts were going to be filled out. Which I found very interesting. I don't do most of this stuff, but for some of you that are new at it, it's pretty interesting stuff that it gives you, So it's the contract plus a probate addendum. The contract is as is price. It's telling you how all these things, the contingencies, closing on such day, but only when upon authority. So like upon the actual piece of them being clear to do it. So it gives you a few different options to look through just for you to get a little bit more familiarized with the process. I don't know. I thought it was cool. I don't use it. I don't need it. I wouldn't use it. But if you're new at this, some good information in there. Now, here are the NEPQ question stacks, right? So you got them by title, right? Connection, permission, situation awareness. Usually problem awareness is the one I like the most. Or consequences, right? These are the ones that usually hit a little bit harder. So if we go here, let's say problem awareness. When you say wait, what worries you most about signing now? Doing something the court won't like, or being locked in without authority, or something else? So I like the beginning of this, right? I would just not use the back. So what I would do is, what I like about this is like, when you say wait, what worries you the most about moving forward right now? That's it. Very simple, right? If you listen to any of my sales trainings before, what's more important than what you're saying is how you are saying it. How you pause, sounding empathetic. It's not a sales training, but I just want to be clear. So again, I'm not using the whole thing, but I really like the beginning. I was like, ooh, that's a good little interruption, but also it's empathetic enough, right? That it's just me being curious. Let's say consequence. If we wait 2 to 3 months, what happens with taxes, insurance, law, or break-ins? Who's handling that? So I like this one too, but what I don't like when I ask questions is all of this. Don't give multiple things all at once. Right? It's just saying, well, if you were to wait 2 to 3 months, and try to pick which one would be more impactful, right? So what happens with, the taxes like piling up, or what happens with just the simple maintenance of the house so you don't get any code violations from the cities or any liens from the cities, right? So something that will add a little bit more emotion to it. But this already gives me a lot of ideas of how I'm going to overcome a lot of these objections. I hope that's making sense, guys. Like, and then it gives you NLP language, so future pace relief. So imagine it's 60 days from now, probate wraps, and you already have the buyer, price, and paperwork lined up. How much easier does that make things for your family? Right. So what I love this. I love the future pace relief. The only thing I would do is I would use it as a third party story. It's like, I get that, Gladys. I don't know why Gladys. It just makes sense. So I get that, Gladys. But here's what's happened in the past, and something for you to think about is I was working with somebody in this neighborhood, a few blocks over, whatever it is, and we did the same thing. The difference was what they liked is that after it took like a few months for the probate to go through, but once it went through, that she was ready to close because we had already gotten the contracts, we had open title, we had everything done. All we needed was her to get the permission from the county. As soon as she got it, not from the county, from the attorney. As soon as she got it, we closed immediately. And to her, it was such a weight lifted off her shoulders, so she didn't have to start all over again 3 months from now, 2 months from now, right? So using a third party story allows them to connect with the people, which makes it that much more powerful when you're doing it. Then they do, reframing, presupposition. So, English isn't my first language. You have so many little techniques in here. Pick one that works and make it your own. All right. And it gives you so many, look at all these things, probate, self, offer summary. So it even gives you a whole breakdown of how to take the process. I wouldn't use it, but again, like it's pretty damn cool, right? SMS follow-ups that you can use. I mean, all from one question, right? So this is how I've been using ChatGPT. This is how I use AI. It's been that powerful. It's helped me cut, like I said, a tremendous amount of time for not just myself, but my team as well. And even within my team, like I have a lot of my sales guys, the same thing. Like when you have an objection or something, articulate, look at it. Let's analyze it with chat. Let's see what Chris Voss would say. Let's see what, and the only reason why those things work is there's so much content from these guys on there already that the AI can kind of predict how they will respond to something like that. And I got to stress this point. The only way this is effective is when you have one list that you specialize. Because when you specialize on a list, after some time, you will know which objections are the repeat objections. They're always on repeat. It's always the same objection. And if you haven't designed a process, which I call preemptive persuasion, right? A process to get ahead of the objection before they give it to you, then you don't understand your list yet. And this is why you're not effective with your list. When you understand it to such a point, that's why I can give you this objection, because in the probate space, it's a very common objection, very common. So when you have it, you can create these preemptive persuasion techniques that allows you to get ahead of it. So it's like, oh yeah, well, I was talking to my attorney and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, I gotcha. Yeah. I've had people that, some decide to wait for the probate process to be over, but a lot of them have been liking the fact that we could just move forward now and line up so much of the process, have everything all teed up, ready to go, so they know exactly what they're walking away with. That way, as soon as the probate is done, we can just go ahead and get the whole thing finalized. And in a lot of states, you can actually bypass the probate process just through affidavit of heirships. You understand? But again, if you are bouncing from list to list, you do probates, you do foreclosures, you do absentees, you do, any of the virtual nonsense out there that they're doing, you're not going to piece these things together. You understand? You're going to be watching videos like this, hoping that I give you something that you can probably use without you understanding why you ever needed it. All right. So again, that is how I use it. And I hope those things are making sense. And again, as we wrap this up, you just saw that I can save so much hours. I mean, hundreds of hours, and not just the hours, but the mental drain that you get to save on by doing these techniques this way. And like I promised, I'm going to put together a free AI prompt pack, which is pretty much all the prompts, all the way I will phrase questions. I'm gonna put it all in a pack and send it to you guys. It's completely free. So if you want a copy of that, just go to my Instagram and DM me the word PP YouTube. Why that word? I have no idea. You're gonna have to ask Dre why he chose that word. It's a PP YouTube. No idea why, but I put it in the chat so you have it in there, and just go DM me the word. So as soon as I have those, I'll send them over to you, and you can kind of just start building your own prompts from there. But again, I want to make sure we're stressing this part. You saw this wasn't anything clean or magical or that had it unlocked. You talk to it. Just, hey, no, that's not what I meant. I meant this. Hey, this is what I want. No, you gave me the wrong results. I want these results. Like, just be like clear with it. The more clear you are, the more closer you're going to get to your answers. Like, this is not that complicated. All right. You just got to spend more time with it. So I hope this training has been, helpful for you. If you want more things like this or more hand holding, I do run a mastermind where I do all this stuff. So you just schedule a free strategy call with me at pwmcall.com, and we'll see if it's a good fit for everybody.